好，咁我哋而家就會開始啦。咁首先好多謝各位家長同埋同學仔啦。咁今日就抽空出席我哋嘅講座啦。咁我哋今日咧就係同University of Regina 咧有個合作嘅諮詢日啦。咁首先我哋就會講下究竟我哋學校嘅一啲簡介先啦，跟住就會交個時間咧俾Regina 嗰邊嘅代表啦，Stephen 去做一個簡介咁樣樣嘅。咁咧，首先今日嘅講座內容啦，就會係介紹咗 OeS 嘅課程先啦。咁跟住就會講下加拿大升學有啲咩優勢啦。咁最後就會到Regina 嗰邊咧去講翻關於譬如一啲 admission 嘅資料啊咁樣樣嘅。咁首先講咗我哋學校先啦，咁 Ontario eSchool 咧嘅全名就係加拿大安省網上中學啦。咁其實我哋喺2007年嘅時候咧，就喺加拿大嘅安省嗰邊咧成立嘅。咁就主要係提供一啲網上嘅高中課程啦，亦即係 OSSD 全名 Ontario Secondary School Diploma。咁去到16年嘅時候咧，咁就見到亞洲區有啲需要啦，咁所以就喺香港嘅呢一度咧成立咗一個亞洲區嘅校務處，咁就係專招攬一啲亞洲區嘅學生嘅。咁去到2018年嘅時候咧，咁我哋就同體委會合作啦，就推辦咗呢個青少年精英獎學計劃。咁就係主要俾一啲運動員嘅學生啦，咁陣間都有啲例子嘅。咁就係俾啲學生可能佢哋同時間可以做 training 啦，再加埋返學咁樣樣嘅。咁而上年嘅時候咧，我哋就同一啲香港嘅 local school 啦合作推出一啲雙文憑嘅課程。咁我哋陣間都會詳細再解釋少少嘅。咁究竟eSchool 有啲咩咁特別咧？係咪真係咁高認受性咧？首先第一樣嘢咧，我哋係所有嘢都係 under 翻教育局嗰邊嘅，所以佢嘅認受性咧係相對地一定比較高啦。咁譬如學生咧，一旦佢入咗學之後咧，佢就會有一個咧叫做 OeN number 係俾翻佢嘅。咁而呢個 OeN number 咧，全名就係 Ontario Education Number 啦，就係等同於學生喺安省當地嘅一個學籍。咁而呢一個學籍咧，就係由安省嘅教育局咧去做俾佢嘅。咁所以咧，所有嘢咧都係 under 翻教育局嗰個structure啦，所有嘢都係 under 翻佢哋去監管啦。咁就變相個認受性咧都相對地會高嘅。譬如咧，學生啦，佢哋會喺畢業之後啦，佢哋就會收到2張嘅證書嘅。咁包括咗呢一張藍色呢一張咧，就係成績表啦，就記錄咗你學生佢讀過啲咩科，佢哋嘅成績咁樣啦。咁而另外一張咧，就係佢哋嘅畢業證書。咁其實呢2張咧，同頭先一樣咧，都係由安省嘅教育局嗰邊去發出嘅。咁所以變相咧，其實攞住呢2張嘢咧，其他大學咧佢就會見到，哦，你係喺安省嘅 high school 畢業嘅，咁佢哋都會知道嘅。咁所以基本上學生咧，佢攞住呢2張 cert 咧，佢係可以報晒唔同國家嘅大學啦，包括咗可能係加拿大啦、英國、澳洲，甚至乎香港都 OK 嘅。咁而我哋去報大學咧，所用嘅成績咧就唔再係靠公開考試啦。我哋報大學嘅方法咧就係睇返小朋友佢平均喺中六平均6科嘅成績去報大學嘅。咁譬如咩意思咧？即係講緊咧，其實每一科啦，大概嘅比例就係70% 做功課，30% 咧就係嗰一科嘅考試。咁即係話其實小朋友咧，佢用幾多分去入大學咧，主要都係睇翻佢平時每一科嘅分數。咁然之後我哋就會抽翻其中最好嗰6科出嚟，就作一個平均分去報大學嘅。咁所以我哋就完全係冇公開考試嘅，所以就已經係告別咗嗰個傳統嘅一試定生死嘅一個概念㗎啦。咁而且我哋嘅老師啦，全部都係 certified qualified 嘅 teacher 嚟嘅，因為我哋每一個老師咧，佢都會有一個叫做 Ontario Certified Teacher 嘅牌照啦，先至可以教到我哋嘅學生嘅。咁而且咧，我哋嘅上堂啦，唔係俾學生睇 video 嘅。我哋所謂嘅 eSchool 咧，其實係學生佢會同老師有個真人實時上堂嘅時間，所以變相咧即係話學生啦同埋老師啦，佢哋係即時有對答嘅，係即時真人上堂嘅，就唔係睇 video 嘅。加上咧，其實每個學生咧，佢都會有 counselor 去跟住佢哋嘅情況啦，咁所以就會係提供翻一啲比較個人嘅專業嘅規劃啊，或者係一啲幫助，譬如好似話佢上堂嘅時候遇到啲咩問題，佢都可以 through counselor 去聯絡翻老師咁樣樣嘅。 咁最重要嘅就係我哋全部都係頭先講過就係真人啦。譬如呢一個咧就係我哋平時學生上堂嘅畫面啦，你會見到老師啦，同埋其他同學仔都係要打開鏡頭，同埋老師問問題嘅時候咧，都係要有個 interaction 嘅對答嘅。咁咧，我哋學校用嘅 platform 啦，上堂用嘅 platform 咧，就係好似呢一個咁樣嘅。咁基本上學生咧，佢哋所用嘅materials 啦，佢哋所上堂用嘅嘢啦，都會喺晒呢個 platform 入邊就見到晒嘅。咁所以我哋嘅 course 其實都比較彈性啦，無論係讀嘅時間定係所讀嘅 course 都比較彈性同埋比較多靈活嘅。譬如你會見到咧，我哋中三、中四、中五、中六嘅 course 啦，中六嘅時候咧，學生係可以選擇讀一啲譬如叫做 computer science 啦，一啲係world culture 啦，甚至乎係 law 嘅 course，我哋都有 offer 俾學生嘅。我哋主要就係根據翻學生佢哋未來大學想讀啲乜嘢科去規劃佢哋要讀譬如 Grade 11、Grade 12讀咩科俾佢哋去揀嘅。咁所以就會變相學生有多啲選擇啦，同埋佢哋真係可以根據翻自己興趣去揀翻自己中意嘅科。咁譬如 Grade 12頭先講嗰啲有一啲係computer science 啊、law 啊呢啲，咁就係 pre-U 嘅 course 嚟嘅。咁所以學生咧，其實佢就可以喺真正入大學之前，就首先試咗呢一啲科係點樣樣先嘅。咁我哋嘅頭先講過，我哋係好高靈活性啦。咁其實我哋嘅學生咧，佢有幾種方法可以選擇去讀我哋嘅 program 嘅。譬如第一種就係兼讀啦。咁你會見到咧，其實兼讀嘅學生咧，佢哋只需要喺暑假嘅時候可能讀一科啦，去到最後中六嘅時候先讀6科，我哋報大學都 OK 嘅。譬如好似呢個學生咁樣樣。Cherry 咧，其實佢係本身係喺香港傳統嘅學校讀書嘅，咁但係其實佢最想入嘅科咧係medicine，即係佢想入一啲譬如醫科啊、nursing 嗰啲咁樣樣。咁所以你會見到咧，佢喺中五嘅時候咧就嚟咗我哋呢一邊，佢都係長假期嘅時候就讀咗2科先啦。咁然之後去到中六嘅時候咧就轉咗過嚟我哋呢邊全職讀中六嘅科。咁然之後就用我哋嘅成績去報大學嘅。最後咧，其實佢係攞到香港大學啦、UT 啦同埋 Manchester 嘅 offer 嘅。咁又譬如啦，學生都可以選擇咧去 full time 全職讀我哋嘅 program 啦。譬如好似 Canking 咁樣樣咧，佢就係頭先一開始講嗰啲運動員學生啦。咁所以其實你可以想像到咧，佢同時間要去兼顧 training，再加讀書咧，其實對佢嚟講好吃力嘅。咁但係我哋嘅課程比較 flexible 啦，咁所以佢就可以制定一個專屬佢嘅 study plan，去幫佢同時間兼顧到讀書同埋做運動啊，即係可能打冰球啊咁樣嗰啲。咁你會見到其實 Canking 最後咧，佢係攞咗譬如加拿大啦，同埋澳洲嘅 offer 嘅。咁除咗頭先2個例子之外咧，我哋今年都有啲學生咧，佢係用 combined cert 嘅方法去入大學噶啦。咁係咩意思咧？即係話咧，譬如好似呢個學生咁樣樣，佢喺香港傳統嘅女校讀書嘅，但係咧，佢間學校咧，淨係俾佢讀 bio 啦，同埋 econ 2科選修科。但係呢個學生咧，佢想入嘅大學 program 咧係 kinesiology，即係話緊咧，其實呢一科咧要有 chem 啦、bio 同埋 calculus 微積分嘅科目。咁即係好明顯咧，其實呢個學生如果佢淨係靠 DSE 嘅選修科咧，佢係入唔到佢想入嘅 program 嘅。咁於是咧，佢就照考 DSE，但同時間咧嚟咗我哋學校補翻2至3科，咁就 combine 埋一齊去報大學嘅。咁而最後咧，佢係攞咗 Waterloo 啦、U of T 啦，同埋 UBC 嘅 kinesiology 嘅 offer 嘅。咁其實除咗頭先嗰啲學生之外啦，我哋都有好多唔同嘅學生咧，喺過往咁多年，可能係一啲運動員啊，可能係一啲名校嘅學生啊，可能佢哋 DSE 失手啊，咁樣樣都有嘅。咁呢啲就係一啲學生嘅例子啦，都係點樣樣佢哋由一間傳統嘅學校去轉過嚟我哋 eSchool，然之後最後攞到佢哋自己最想要嘅 offer 嘅。咁樣加拿大升學有啲咩優勢咧？其實加拿大咧有好多個唔同嘅省份嘅，咁每個省份咧佢哋嗰個教育嘅制度啦都唔一樣嘅。咁其實安省咧係唯一一個唔需要考公開考試嘅省份去報大學嘅。咁其實我哋嘅學生啦，只要佢係喺OSSD 畢業，無論佢係任何嘅護照，佢都係行本地生101嘅路線嘅。咁 講緊嘅係咧，當地嘅大學啦，其實有7至8成嘅學位咧，都係俾一啲本地生嘅。咁剩翻嗰啲咧就係課海外生啦。咁海外生嘅定義係咩咧？包括咗譬如係考 DSE 啦、高考啦、IB 啦，甚至乎係 BC 省或者其他加拿大嘅省份轉過嚟安省嘅學生咧，都係計海外生嘅。咁我哋咧今日咧就好榮幸邀請到Regina 啦，佢哋派咗個代表 Stephen 嚟同我哋去講下呢間學校啦，同埋一啲嘅 admission requirement 嘅。咁喺交個時間俾佢之前咧，我就簡單介紹下呢間學校先啦。咁其實呢間學校咧就喺1911年嘅時候創立啦。咁佢就喺加拿大嘅沙省嗰邊嘅。咁其實佢咧就係一間加拿大第一間可以保障所有畢業生都可以揾到工作嘅大學嚟嘅。咁佢嘅課程包括咗，譬如係一啲證書課程啦、文憑課程啦、Bachelor 同埋 Master 都有嘅。咁用我哋嘅 program 去報呢間大學咧，就同頭先一樣啦，就係用中六最好嘅6科平均分，再加某啲科嘅 prerequisites，再加埋嗰個 IELTS 咧就可以報到噶啦。咁除咗頭先除咗呢間學校之外啦，其實我哋都有個 app 咧叫做 CanAd 啦。咁家長有興趣嘅話，都可以 download 翻呢個 app，入邊就係主要講翻一啲譬如加拿大啊嘅一啲生活同埋教育資訊，咁就係俾大家睇翻譬如一啲學校嘅比較啦、排名啦、地點啦等等嘅資料嘅。咁如果真係對eSchool 或者其他都有問題嘅話咧，都可以隨時 WhatsApp 或者打電話俾呢個電話號碼啦。咁我哋就住翻小朋友嘅情況，同佢有個度身訂做嘅 plan 咁樣嘅。咁咧將以下時間交翻俾 Regina 嗰邊嘅代表 Stephen 去介紹翻呢間學校啦。咁咯。
Okay, should I start?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, I'll turn on my video. Sorry, it's the lighting is not that good. Hi everyone. My name is Stevens. I am the international student recruiter for the University of Regina, and I will be doing a quick presentation of our university. Let me just share my presentation. Oh, of course, and thank you, Yo-Yo, for the presentation earlier. Okay. Can you guys see the slides?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. So we will start then. Okay. So this is our university, University of Regina, and then earlier, Yo-Yo was mentioning about our school. So originally, yes, we were founded over 100 years ago, but as part of a University of Saskatchewan. But in the 1960s, we became our own independent university. So study in Canada. Why should you study in Canada? Why not? Right? Every year in Canada, we welcome over 150,000 international students. And right now, we have over 600,000 of international students studying in Canada. And why study in Canada, you might ask? There are a lot of reasons why, mainly because of our safety, quality of life, and most importantly, the quality of education. We have top schools, and many of a lot of our tax revenue and our taxpayers' money go into education funding. So that's why Canadian education is a lot more affordable than many other countries. And 96% of international students do recommend Canada as a study destination. And just to let you know my background, originally I wasn't from Canada. I was born in Taiwan. I moved to Canada when I was very young. So I studied there, and then I do notice there's a big difference between the education in Asia and the education in Canada in general. Okay, so studying in Saskatchewan. Yeah, Saskatchewan is one of our provinces, and you probably haven't heard of this province very much. You probably have heard of BC, British Columbia, Ontario, Quebec, but probably not Saskatchewan. So Saskatchewan is one of the 3 prairie provinces, and we're located pretty much in the middle of Canada. And for our city, Regina, it is the capital city. So discover the prairies. So we are located in the center of Canada, and Saskatchewan has growing tech and business sectors. And for those of you who's seeking to stay and work after graduating from University of Regina, it's pretty simple compared to many other provinces. And I think for me, the most important factor is that it's pretty affordable compared to the big cities. And being someone who used to live in Vancouver, I can definitely tell you that I can actually save quite a bit of money in living in Saskatchewan. So just a little bit of stats for you for Saskatchewan. We have 1.2 million people, so not very big, but it is that is why the province has a very friendly immigration policy. So the government wants to increase the population, and we are a agricultural province. 40% of our farmland is located in Saskatchewan. But a lot of people also don't know that we're also the 2nd biggest energy producer in Canada, right behind Alberta. We do have a lot of reserves with our fossil fuel. Okay, so this is Regina. This is downtown Regina. So Regina, we have around 250,000 people. And again, we're the capital city of the province. So many of the companies, the provincial companies, are located right in our city. And so for our university, it's about 15 minutes away from the downtown by bus. So during peak hours, if you want to go downtown for our university, you only have to wait for 15 minutes. After peak hour, it's about 30 minutes, but it's relatively fast. And from our university, you can get to all sides of Regina in roughly, I would say, in less than an hour. You can get to all sides, to the north end, to the south end, to the east end, and to the west end as well. So it's very, very convenient to travel to different parts of Regina from the university. Okay. So now I would like to talk more about University of Regina. So at this moment, we have over 17,000 students. And right now, it's about 18% international students out of the 17,000. And for next semester, we will have over 20% international students. So it's quite diverse. So when you're walking on campus, you will hear many different languages. You'll hear people speaking in Mandarin, Korean, Japanese, Spanish, Hindi, just all sorts of different languages. And we have over 10 faculties and 120 different undergraduate programs. And we do have graduate studies. So you are more than welcome to do a master's or a PhD, but probably not the case right now. So we are the top 6 in Canada for university student services. We're actually the first Canadian university to offer a 24-hour hotline for international students. And as you can see, this is everything you see here is our campus. So it's quite big, and we are a comprehensive university. So that means we have all of the programs except for medical school, but most of the programs are available for students to select. Okay, so let's look at the program. So we do have a sample of each of some of the majors in each faculty. So I will go over them. So Faculty of Arts. So you can think of Faculty of Arts as a more writing intensive social science faculty. So for example, psychology. Psychology is our top ranked program from the university. It is ranked number 8. So top 10 in Canada for this year. So another popular will be human justice, international studies, political science, geography. But we actually have a lot more than just these 5. And next we have business. So for business, we have the 5 programs: accounting, finance, HR, marketing, management. So for these for business, we do have stats from our business faculty. 94% of students who graduate from the business faculty, they find a job within 6 months of graduation, a full-time job actually. And next is education. So for the future teachers out there, we do have education faculty. So you can come and learn to study to become elementary school teachers, secondary, music, art, French, and also PE as well. So because of our friendly immigration policies, it's there's a lot of demand for teachers. And right now, we actually don't have enough teachers. So if you know someone, if your child or children want to do education, it is super popular, and it's pretty much guaranteed to get a job. And once you are certified as a teacher in Saskatchewan, you can also teach in other provinces. You just have to go register with each province's school board, and you can teach. Next is engineering. So we have 5 different programs for engineering. It's electronic, environmental, energy, industrial, and software engineering. So as I had said before about our province, so our province, it's also a energy producing province. So many of our programs are tailored to that to the demand. So many of our students, they do end up working for a big the oil company or our power company. So for engineering, the students, they have the highest starting salary of all the faculties. So they're looking at around 70 to 80,000 to begin with. And to many Canadians, a lot of them will have to work 5 to 10 years just to reach that salary. And for engineers, once you graduate from University of Regina from the engineering faculty, you will get a professional title as a professional engineer. This title is the same as the ones that people would get from other university. It doesn't matter if you graduate from U of T, UBC, University of Alberta, you will still get the same professional title. Next, we have kinesiology and health studies. So for this one, it's a relatively new field, and it's also very, very popular now that we're moving on from the pandemic. So such program, we have health studies, human kinetics, and sports and recreation. So one of our more unique program is sports and recreation management. So this is quite different for those for people who want to look into working for sports teams or looking at or in the private sector regarding recreation. This would be a very good major to do. And next we have media art performance. This is considered our fine art program. So we have creative technology, film, music, visual art. We also have theater as well. So for some of these majors, for these programs, students will have to submit an audition, such as for music, and then for visual art, they'll have to submit a portfolio. And all of this can be done online, and the professors will be the one to judge the work for admission process. With that being said, pretty much all of the program for the admission process is decided by my colleague. Okay, next is science. So science is our biggest faculty in terms of student number. We have the traditional the 3 sciences: biology, physics, chemistry, and we also have biochem. And we do have computer science as well. And related to computer science, we have data science and software system development. So for studies such as data science, this is still quite new. Not that many university in Canada has this major yet. So if students were to take this major, when they graduate, they'll be one of the first people with that kind of bachelor program. Next, we also have social work. So we do have a need for social workers, but right now it is not that popular for international students, but we're hoping to change that because like teachers, social workers can find a job very easily in our in the field. Next is nursing. So just like social work, engineering, and education, nursing, once you graduate from this program, actually, I shouldn't say graduate. Once you are close to a graduate, you will start to get job offers because we are in a very, very dire need for nurses. So nursing is very, very popular. However, it is also very, very competitive for international students. But for if you have Canadian citizenship, for example, it will not be as competitive. So you don't have to worry too much about not being able to get in. So we do have direct entry, and we do have a bilingual option as well. So if you have French background, you can also try the bilingual way to be admitted. Next, we have our French faculty. It's called La Cité. So La Cité, they do Francophone studies, and they also offer a certificate in French as a second language. And they do work with our education faculty for their French education. And as Yo-Yo have said before, we also have a one-year certificate for many of our faculties, mostly in Faculty of Arts. And we do have the two-year diplomas. So for the two-year diplomas, we have it in Faculty of Arts, Business, Science, and other ones as well. Okay, so we do, as I said before, we do have graduate studies. So for graduate studies, we offer master's and PhD, but I'm not gonna talk too much about this. So we have study abroad. So as international students, international students can still study abroad. All they have to do is pay our University of Regina tuition rate, which I will talk about a little bit later. So they pay the same tuition rate, and they can study in many different countries. So they can study in other parts in North America, in American universities, such as the University of Hawaii. And they can study in East Asia as well, a university in Osaka or in Seoul. And of course, they can study in Australia, or they can study in Latin America as well. So this is a very good option. And all they have to do is when they pay is the only thing that pay extra is the dormitory. The dormitory is up to the other school, the other university's rate. So it'll be slightly different. It could be a little bit more expensive, or it could be a little bit more affordable. And once the application has gone through, we will also give students some funding. I think this year we gave each of them $2,000. Next, it's experiential learning. So you might have heard of a co-op, but what is co-op? So co-op is something that students can do while they're studying in university. During co-op program, they don't have to go to classes. You might be thinking, what do they do instead? Actually, they're working. They actually work full-time. So for example, in my office right now, there is an Indian student. He is doing his co-op. He is on his second semester, so he has done over 7 months already of work in our office. So he is in the business faculty. So different faculties will have different opportunities. So and different jobs as well. And once you are approved for a co-op, you can apply to many different jobs, and it's up to you whether or not if you want to accept it. And one criteria for a co-op is, generally speaking, you will need to complete 2 years, the first 2 years of your study, and then you will also need to have a decent GPA. Usually 75 or 80% would suffice. And when you're doing co-op, you're also getting paid, and very happy to say that you're also not getting paid minimum wage. It's not going to be a McDonald's type of salary. So don't worry too much about this. The students can actually make a full-time salary they can actually support themselves during this time. And if they perform well in off-campus jobs, there is a possibility the employers might be able to offer them a job. For example, a friend of mine, when we're in university, she was doing accounting. She got a she got a co-op job at an accounting firm. So she performed well, and by the end of her term, she got offered a job contract, and this was in her third year. So before she even graduated, she got a job a job offer. So right after she graduated, she went to her co-op place and worked. So it is very reassuring for many students, and especially for international students as well, because this is a good way to satisfy many of the requirements that the immigration policy is asking for. And right now, over 90% placement rate. So 90% of applicants who apply for co-op, they do find a job. Okay, now we're talking about a little bit about money. Money is very important. So this is of our scholarship. So for international entrance scholarship, this is a one-time scholarship. For this one, very simple. All you have to do is meet the criteria that we set forth. Students must have an admission average of at least 85%. So if students doing OSSD, if they have an 85% average, we will give them this scholarship. No question asked. Students don't have to make a separate application. They don't have to write an essay. As long as when they submit the application, once we have seen it, once we have reviewed it, then we will issue the scholarship, and we will notify the student in their offer letter. It will say, "Congratulations, you have received the $3,000 scholarship." Okay, next is our new scholarship. It's International Student of Distinction Scholarship. This is a big scholarship. It's about $80,000. So it's about $20,000 per year. If you're doing engineering, it will be a little bit more. It'll be around $90,000. So this is for international students who have the highest high school average from each term, and they will be rewarded free on-campus housing and meal plan. So for a 1-year housing and meal plan, that's worth about $20,000. So all they have to do is get a very good average, and when they apply, we will like the $3,000 scholarship. They don't have to write anything. They don't have to write an essay. They don't have to make a separate application. We will automatically review the scholarship for them. So if they qualify, we will also let them know in a separate email that they have been shortlisted as a candidate for the International Student of Distinction Scholarship. So there's some criteria for this. In order to renew the scholarship, you must have a good GPA of 80% by the end of your first year, and you must complete 30 credits. So ideally, what I would recommend is that students, they should not take for their sake, for each semester, I would say around 4 courses, and then if they can take 4 courses in fall, 4 courses in winter, and maybe 2 courses in summer, in the optional semester of summer. Because otherwise, if they do 5 courses in each semester in fall and winter, it will be quite stressful, because that's considered a quite heavy workload. But if you don't get this scholarship, it's not a great concern, because we do have additional scholarships available as well. So once your children are students, they can go to our database to look for scholarship. There are many different scholarships for different programs. For example, there will be scholarship for Faculty of Arts students, for business, and for STEM students. And if it for STEM, we also have scholarships for female students doing STEM. So there are a lot of scholarships out there. The money is always there. It's just you just have to apply to them. Some scholarship are worth a few $1,000s. Some are worth more than $10,000, and some of them are one-time scholarship, and some of them are renewable ones. Okay, so another thing about money, this is our yearly budget. So as you can see, for our tuition, it's roughly about $21,000. So this is based on 4 courses for fall semester and another 4 courses in winter semester. So so this is roughly 8 courses. That's roughly about $21,000. And if you add all the fees, such as books, food, residence, student fees, you get around $35,000. If you're doing, so this is the cost for engineering and business students. If you're doing Faculty of Arts or any other faculties, it will be slightly lower than this. So you're looking at around $32,000 to $33,000 for other faculties. And I would like to point out for student fees, student fee covers students' bus passes and health and gym. And for health, they get the same health card as residents gets, as residents of Saskatchewan. So my health card is the same as the student's health card, meaning it's the same benefits. They don't have to pay anything when they go see a doctor. They just pay some money for the medicine. And unlike many other universities, we also cover dental as well. And we have an on-site dentist. So students don't have to pay when they do their 6-month cleaning. And if they really have their problems with teeth, the dental insurance will cover most of it. I wouldn't say all of it, but it will cover most of it. And as you can see from our total estimated cost compared to other institutions, we're quite affordable. And I'm sure you're probably wondering, how is there on-site housing? Yes, we do. So these are these 2 towers are just some of the examples of our housing. We actually have several other towers such as this. For example, right above my office, we do have housing. So we have quite a few, and unlike many other universities, we don't expect them to be 100% full. For this semester, the fall semester, they're about 60% full. So we still have quite a bit of rooms. So all of our rooms are fully furnished. So students, they just have to bring their suitcase with their clothes, and then they're good to go. And in the first couple of days, they can just go to a supermarket and stack up on on hangers and some other necessities. So we also have the utility covers as well. So Wi-Fi, electricity, power, heating, AC, all of them are covered by the fees. So of course, it's a great location because it is on campus. So I always tell prospective students that you guys can sleep until like 10 minutes before class begin, and then just go to classes in your pajamas. In Canada, it's we're not very big on clothing, so students, professor, as long as their students show up, they'd be pretty happy. So they can dress whatever they want actually. So many students, they're very casual. And it's fun as well. So on housing, for housing, they have a lot of different events just for the just for the students living there. So they have movie nights, and they also take students out for grocery shopping, and they also have free groceries as well. So if they're, because university students, we know a lot of them, they don't really like to go out, so and they're kind of lazy sometimes. So we do have groceries provided for them. And as you can see, on the bottom, we have something called the really big deal. I'm not sure if you know, but many Canadian institutions, for the public institution, it is very common for them to raise their tuition every year. It's just the way it is. But if students, let's say, for the first year, they stay in housing and they decide they want to stay in housing the second year, this is when the big deal kicks in. We will freeze their tuition increase. So even though they're in their second year of study, their tuition rate is still the first year rate. And if they want to do their third year in housing, they will still just have to pay the first year rate. They don't have to pay for the increase rate. So potentially they can save up to $21,000, and that's quite a bit. And being staying in housing, there's so many benefits. You don't have to wait and for buses when you're living outside, and it's just very, very convenient. Okay, so for our this is our process for application. So ideally, you should go onto our website to look for the programs that the students are interested, and then you just have to submit your application. The application fee is $100, and you can pay by credit card or Flywire. And once you upload all your documents, so for you guys, for people doing OeSSD, you will need to have your OeSSD results. So when you're applying, you can apply with your grade 11 transcript, and then when our processors see the application, we will ask you to provide the current class list. Or you can also include the current class list as one of the documents as well. And one thing I do like to note is that so if you have started doing OeSSD since grade 9 or since grade 10, we will waive the IELTS. So if you have done the last 3 years, if you will finish the last 3 years of high school doing OeSSD, you will not need to do IELTS or any other English exams. We will waive that. Okay. And so after you upload everything, we will process it. It will take depending on the value of our application, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. And then after that, we will send you a conditional offer. And for the conditional offer, it will just tell you that after you get your final transcript, just send it to us, and we will send you a final offer letter. But if you're, if the students have already finished their grade 12 and you apply with your final transcript, then we will just send them a final offer letter. And for our admission requirements, so we will only look at 4 subjects. So So we'll only look at 4 subjects. If you're doing if students is interested in Faculty of Arts, we'll just be looking at their English 12 score and then 3 other academic subjects. If they're doing business, we require them to have a grade 12 math besides English and 2 other academic subjects. If they're doing programs such as engineering, it's a little bit more complicated. We will ask them for English 12, a grade 12 math course, physics, and chemistry. So this is a little bit more complicated. For Faculty of Science, we just require 2 kinds of sciences. It could be physics, chemistry, biology, or computer science. And yeah, that's it for that one. And if you have started OeSSD maybe later on, so we will require students to do an English language exam. So for IELTS, it's 6.5, no band less than 6.0. We also accept TOEFL, PTE, Duolingo as well. And this is our international student services. So for our international student services, as I said, we're pretty highly ranked in Canada, and we have a lot of different service for students. So one of the first things that students, when they get to University of Regina, is to go to student service, so they can actually help them to get the health card, which is super, super important. And they can answer questions such as immigration, work related. Oh yes, work. Speaking of work, students can legally work part-time when they're in Canada. So in fall and winter, they can work up to 20 hours a week. So anyways, back to student service, we do have academic tutoring as well, and we have many workshops. So for workshop, as long as you check the date and time, you can just show up. For tutoring, just make an appointment, and we will have someone ready for you. And every semester, we will have a international student orientation. This is for the new international students. And our campus culture is very typical of a North American university. We have lots of different sports programs. For us, the favorite sport is football, the ones over here, not soccer. We have other sports such as basketball, hockey, softball as well. We have both the university team. We'll also have a varsity team, which is, they play for fun. We also have a lot of different clubs as well. So we have clubs for based on people's ethnicity, cultural background, or hobby base. So they're quite a bit. And we do have events just for international students. So every year we do host an international student night where international students can show off their culture. Okay. And this is just some of our testimonial from our students. So for example, Happiness, she's from Nigeria. She's actually quite an influencer. So if you just look up University of Regina on YouTube, you'll probably see Happiness videos. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can send a question to international.recruitment@uregina.ca. My colleague and I, we do check our emails quite often. So we usually process them in 1 or 2 business days. And later, I will also leave my email in the chat in the chat box, so you guys will be able to send me an email if you have any questions. Let me just do that right now. Oh, let me do that again. Okay. And if you have any questions that you want to ask a little bit more specifically or directly, you can also go onto the website. Just Google University of Regina online enrollment counseling. So you can you can speak to my colleagues and you can ask your questions there. So you can get your question answered, and they will be able to tell you more about our university as well. Okay, so that's it for my presentation. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I guess Yo-Yo, we can start with the Q&A, right?
Yes, I think the students have left some questions here.
Okay, let me take a look. Okay, I will start with the first one. May I know if I can't meet IELTS requirement for April, what I can do? Thank you. Okay, so for this one, this is actually a pretty common question. So if you're if you are required to take IELTS so this means that you have not started OSSD until maybe grade 11 or 12. We will require you to take IELTS or any other English exam, but when you're applying, you do not need to have your IELTS. Okay, you don't have to. So because on your offer letter, on your conditional offer letter, it will say that once you have your English exam, you can send it to us and we can update your status accordingly. So let's say before April, you don't have your IELTS. That's okay. You can send it to us in May or in June. So once you send it to us, we will update that, and once we have your IELTS and your final transcript, and then we can finally update your offer letter into a final offer letter. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, next. What are the score requirements if I apply using HKDSC? For this one, I will need to check. But if you can send me your email, I can get back to you on this, because we do have a chart, conversion chart just for students doing the Hong Kong curriculum. Okay, next is when will the earliest offer send? I am international student, but study. Oh, okay, OeS. Okay, so this is for us we are. I'm not sure if you know the term rolling admission basis. So once you submit your application, we will look at it and we can give it to you right after we're done with it. So it's not like you have to wait until a certain time for us to get back to you. The earlier you submit, the quicker we can get back to you. So if you submit, let's say you submit now, for today, December 4th, we probably can get back to you sometime in January, probably in mid to late January. So so you can submit at any time, and then we will get back to you anytime between 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the value of the application. Okay. Any interview before receipt offer? Okay, this is a good question. So we don't usually require interview for any of our programs. So for most of our program, you would just have to make the application and that's it. There are some certain programs that require extra documents such as education. They would need to you will need to just to write a short profile of yourself, and then of course for media art and performance, you will have to submit your portfolio and your audition. And I just want to add one more thing. So for our application, you don't have to write a personal statement. Personal statement is only required for very few Canadian universities. Okay, for co-op, besides GPA, are there any requirements to go to a top employer, such as interview? Okay, so for interview, sometimes it's necessary. If, for example, if there are multiple students, co-op students who want to apply for the same job. So earlier I said that in my office, we do have an Indian business student. Last semester, we also had another student, international student, doing co-op in our office. For his position, there were multiple applicants. So the one of our managers, she actually had to interview, I think 3 students for the job, and later on she decided to pick the one that we had in summer. So sometimes, yes, you might need to do interview. So this is, I guess this could be a requirement if the job is really decent and popular. Any I'm trying to think of any other requirements. Generally speaking, you can apply at the end of your second year. For some programs, it's you can apply after your first year, but you will have to check the credit load and the exact requirements for different faculties. So, but for most program, after second year, you can start your co-op. Okay, last question. May I know how many places are available for international students? Will it be difficult if my child holds a Hong Kong passport? Thanks. Okay. So right now we don't have a quota for international students. So as long as you meet the requirements, we will be able to admit you. So it doesn't matter which passport that you hold. So as long as you're an international student, you can apply to University of Regina, and there will be no everyone will be treated on an equal basis. So yeah, there is no quota for any countries. Okay, so those are the questions that I see. Any other questions?
如果大家有問題都可以再問啦，如果之後再諗到問題嘅話咧，都可以 email 翻 Stephen 啦，咁佢都俾咗個 email 喺個 chat room 度嘅，咁大家都可以 mark 低翻啦。咁我諗今日咁樣問就到呢度啦。Thank you so much for your sharing, Stephen. And I think the webinar today will end now. Thank you so much.
Okay, so yeah, as Yo-Yo said, my email is right there, so you can copy and paste it. And if you have any questions, just send an email to me. I'd be more than glad to answer all of your questions. Thank you for attending. I really appreciate all of the effort. Thank you so much. Hopefully I will see you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.